Val. Bé, ara anem a la quarta xerrada, que hem anat ara hem vingut de la volta al món, ara ens quedarem més a la península escandinava. En Jari Peltoma, que és un fotògraf, un molt bon fotògraf professional, ens explicarà les fotografies d'un any, 1 year in Scandinavia Peninsula. Val? El deixem amb ell, que segurament que és molt, molt, molt interessant.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me over. It's great that you stayed. I mean, previous talk was amazing. You know, she's wonderful, and I would like to get her signature on her book, but I have to stay here now. But that's my pleasure. Thank you for staying, and thank you for coming to listen me. I have been around. I'm not a Twitcher. I used to be a Twitcher in the 1980s. I started my birdwatching in 1977. I was a quite young boy, schoolboy, and I started to take photos 1978 already with the old Russian camera, Zenit TTL, black and white film. You know, I have done it from everything was manual. We click one picture at a time, manual focus. Everything was speed, shutter speed, aperture, the ISO figure. Everything was fixed manually. And I still actually do it nowadays, even when we have a really good cameras. I still do probably 95% of my photography manually, except the autofocus. But I set up the speed, aperture, and ISO figure myself. Then I'm in a full control what kind of pictures I will get. This is Finland is very northern country. That's my home country. I live halfway up in Finland in Oulu area, and this autumn has been actually very, very good for northern lights, Aurora Borealis. And this is taken in Lapland. This is taken in, that's good if you can dim a little bit the lights. Yeah, good. This is taken, oh, thank you. This is much better. This is, there are 3 pictures taken, and I put them together in Lightroom. I had a camera on a tripod, and with 7 to 40 mil lens, f2.8, I took 3 shots, upright shots, vertical shots, and I stitched them together in Lightroom. There is our little cabin. You can see lights there. There's a little cabin in Lapland where we stay often, and this is a lake ice where I'm standing on, and I took this rising aurora picture of with and of course in winter we have a lot of snow. Finland is such a northern country that we have a snow half a year, 6 months a year. We have snow cover, and especially on the top of the hills there is a beautiful snow-covered trees, and in a nice light they look like this. It's really winter wonderland. This is usually in let's say in January, February are the best months for these kind of pictures of snowy trees. And of course the landscape and the light, especially the light, winter light. I love winter light. I mean, during the December, northern Finland has only very few hours of daylight, but still it's the reflected light from the sky, open sky, from the moon, from the auroras. It's not so dark than one could expect. You know, it's a beautiful country, and we are quite fortunate in Finland. You know, it's one of I think it's the 7th largest country in Europe, and we have only 5.5 million inhabitants. So there is lots of space, especially in the northern Finland. There are not many people. There are more reindeer than people in Lapland, and there's so much space. So we are fortunate to have it. This is one of our winter activities. We have a golden eagle feeding station deep in the forest. So we are keeping this road open 16 kilometers. So the farmer comes to open it because there can be 1 meter snow. So we have to keep this road open, and it's like sometimes the snowfall is so heavy that the trees are bending over the road, and it's fun, really fun to drop the snow off. This is my wife and our daughter doing the job that we can drive through. And sometimes I usually have a chainsaw in my car too, you know, that we can go through, because sometimes the snow is falling the trees completely over the road. So it's one of the winter activities, and this is typical blue light in January in Finland. You know, the sun stays very low over the horizon, and there's a really long period of reflected, beautiful winter light. And all the trees are covered with the snow, and it's a beautiful time of the year. Really, I have, as a photographer, I have learned to enjoy Finnish winters. Although, well, they are a little bit getting shorter, but we still have a proper winter. And these birds are golden eagles in our eagle feeding station. And the speciality in our place is, of course, that there is snow. There are 2 golden eagles here, and we are eye level with the birds. If you are a photographer, you know how important it is to be eye level with your subject. There's a little bit light, and there's a male and female golden eagles having little argument about what we are going to eat or who is going to eat the food. We are feeding them, and it's actually we believe that it is also helping the golden eagles, the young birds to survive over winter, and adult birds to be in a better condition because they start to breed very early in the spring. And here's a little video too. And what I like in the winter that we often get the very heavy snowfalls, and I love it in the pictures. It's nice to get the big snowflakes, and you are staying. We have a beautiful heated height, so it's very comfortable chairs, you know, and big windows so we can see through. And we don't shoot through the window, but we put the lenses through the canvas bags. And this is a extreme, I say often, extreme conditions, extreme pictures. So this is something what we are hoping to get, you know, snowfall with the big wind. So what I have done here is that I have focused to the golden eagle, and I use the back button focus. I focus to the golden eagle, and I wait that the wind will blow the snow. I stop focusing, and I shoot this is with the 125th of a second shutter speed to show a lot of snow in the air, to show really extreme conditions. And often our golden eagles, maybe you notice this is, if you have seen golden eagles here, they are much darker, aren't they? These are very pale, much paler than your golden eagles. We saw other day with photologistics, we saw a pair of golden eagles. They looked really dark compared to our golden eagles. Could be also a little bit light, but I think they are actually darker in their plumage. And this is one of our adult golden eagles. In a good day, we might have like 10 different golden eagles coming to the feeding place, 10 different birds. Here's a female landing, here's male on the right. And what we are doing all year round, we are collecting the road-killed animals from the roadside. I have 5 big freezers in our Villa Finn Nature in a garage, and we collect the dead animals. What we then take when we go to photograph the eagles, we take them to the eagles. And sometimes there are little arguments, little activity happening between the eagles. Not often, very rarely any serious fights, you know. They are more, they give space to each other. And here you can see again that we are in a same level with the eagles, and they are pretty close. I think like the end of this tent, you know, is the place where we are feeding them. So 20-25 meters. So they come very close. And here a little bit later in the season, let's say late February onwards, there's plenty of light. And I love the light, you know, the snow reflecting the light, and it's a really good. There's enough light for good flight shots. And here's again male on the left, female on the right, and you can separate the male. Well, the female is much bigger, you know, which is typical for all the birds of prey. And female, if you look at compared to bill size, for example, the female on the right has much thicker bill, and male is more like hawk-like, you know, not so much eagle-like. The female is the mean-looking eagle. Occasionally, we get also white-tailed eagles coming into our feeding place, and this landed. We have a little bird feeder in front of the hide too, so we can photograph the little birds while we are waiting for eagles to come. And this is a young white-tailed eagle. In a cold day, they get all frosty. So he landed in the top of the bird feeder, so it was only maybe 5 meters away or even closer. but they don't come every day. This is with OM system. This is 120 frames per second. 120 frames per second. Pro Capture SH1. It's amazing. You know, this is not the video. These are still pictures. They all raw files, but you get all the wing positions. This is a great spotted woodpecker photograph from our eagle hide. And have you heard of this Pro Capture function before? Do you know what is Pro Capture? It's a great feature to get the birds in flight. You know, it's a buffer in the camera which is taking pictures as long as you have a half press your shutter, and when you see the bird starting to fly, it's gone. You press down the shutter, and you will get the whole sequence of the pictures where the bird is flying. It's great for these kind of pictures for birds taking off. It's amazing feature. I think Nikon has something similar nowadays, but OM system has raw files. Gray-headed woodpecker comes regularly to our golden eagle hide too, and often I play around with the shutter speeds when there is a heavy snowfall. Here is a 60th, 1/60 of the shutter speed to make snowfall look very long as a long streaks. And this is also a Pro Capture picture of a gray-headed woodpecker jumping or flying in the branch. So Pro Capture is a wonderful feature. Black woodpecker, the biggest woodpecker in Europe, wonderful bird. But they have learned to come to the bird feeders too. Normally quite difficult species to photograph in the forest. But these birds, they are coming nowadays to the bird feeders. We put some fat to the tree holes, and the woodpeckers come to pick that fat. So it's and I think it's because Finnish winters are quite harsh. It can be easily, in the early morning, it can be minus 30 centigrade, 30, you know, and it's cold. It's serious cold. And we are, but our hides, winter hides are heated, so we are not freezing in the hides. Another action shot of great spotted woodpeckers from our golden eagle hide. Some winters, this is quite rare in our area. This is a Siberian tit, very beautiful bird. It's more common above the Arctic Circle, but this distribution of this species is going further north all the time. So I think it's a declining species. So not so many, but occasionally, every now and then, they come to our golden eagle feeding place too. But it's a pretty little tit species, and yeah, taiga forest species, I would say. And this is also taken with the Pro Capture, Siberian tit taking off. Eurasian jay. I love the snow. Snow is, like I mentioned, it's a great reflector. And let's say in March, there's so much light. There's almost too much light, you know, and you can get easily shutter speeds 3,200 of a second, which is needed for these kind of flight shots of Eurasian jay. And I love the snow as a background because the subjects are standing out really nicely against the white snow. And also dark forest edge is a good background. These are quite challenging to photograph for the autofocus, but I think OM system from OM1 onwards, the bodies are very good with their autofocus. This is a little bit more artistic shot. My background is a bird watcher background. I used to ring birds, and I have been bird watcher all my life, but this is a little bit more artistic. It was such a heavy snowfall here that I had to manually focus to get the ravens sharp in this picture. It was so heavy snowfall. And if the raven, well, you can, I actually turned this to a black and white picture too, because there was not many colors in the picture to start with even. But it's ravens are coming, and it's a great subject for a little bit more creative pictures. And these are against the morning sky, and I made it very maybe graphic is the right word here. Beautiful birds. These are roe deer in our garden. We live in the edge of the forest, and we have a roe deer feeder. We have a bird feeder. There are lots of red squirrels coming there. It's a wonderful place to live. And to be honest, this is I used to have a height there also in the garden, but we took the height away, and now we are taking pictures from our bedroom window. So it's only we open the inner window, and there's one glass, and we take pictures, and it's wonderful place. And crested teeth also in our garden. It's a good place to take pictures, and there's almost studio-like lights in the garden every now and then. And dipper along the rivers. Actually, dipper is one species, almost only species, which is coming to Finland for winter. So they are migrating from Norwegian mountains, which are even more Arctic than Finland. They come to Finnish rivers. So it's one of the migrants what we have for winter. Most of the birds will leave Finland for winter. It's too harsh winters. Owls are my favorite species. I have been working. I used to ring them. I don't have time to ring them anymore, but I'm taking pictures, and we put up lots of nest boxes. In a good year, we have 10 species of owls, and we have hundreds and hundreds of nest boxes in our area. Every year we put more nest boxes. This is a northern hawk owl in a beautiful snowfall. And here's my favorite species. I have been helping many filming companies, well-known filming companies from UK, for example. They have used my services to find the great grey owls and many other species too. But great grey owl I've been doing a lot of work with. This is a hunting picture of a great grey owl taken last spring, actually early April. Usually the winter is the best time, let's say from end of January until April, when we might get them hunting out in the open. And I prefer to have a dark background, obviously, when it's a heavy snowfall, to show the snowflakes well. And here's another picture from last spring of great grey owl in a heavy snowfall. This is really it can be called coast of taiga. It's quite a secretive forest species and very quiet. You can hear the calling, only a couple of 100 meters. So it's not a far-carrying call at all. So it's difficult to find, but we put up more and more nest platforms for them. So I know we are helping them, and it makes it easier for us to find them too. And sometimes they do come very close. If you find one, you can get close. It's just a matter of finding them. Actually, so it's a difficult part. And other species, what we are working with, we have a forest feeder in south of Oulu, and I have been feeding birds there 20 years. We started the feeding for goshawk there. We have a platform where we put some meat, and 10 years ago we realized that, blimey, there's we found some, we didn't have any trail cam or anything, no lights there. We started to find some eagle owl feathers and pellets in that place. So we thought, there must be eagle owls coming here in the nighttime. And we put up a trail cam, and we learned that there are actually a pair of eagle owls visiting the site every night. And nowadays we have a really nice hides there, caravan hides, and we have LED lights, and the owls don't mind the lights at all. We can put the lights on and off. They don't even blink the eye. They don't mind the lights at all. They have get used to the lights completely. So it's not disturbing. Sometimes what I have learned from eagle owls is that they might, if it's really cold, they might sit if there is a frozen, we use often road-killed brown hares, which would be a natural prey for eagle owl. So they might sit 1 hour on top of the frozen brown hare, then they will eat 15 minutes, they will sit again another hour. So they are unfreezing the prey, with their body temperature. And I'm convinced that it is happening in nature too, because they can't eat. If they kill a brown hare, they can't eat it at once. So they will come back next night. And this is what is happening here. So they come back every night, to find the food there. And if it's frozen, they have to unfreeze it. This is something I'm not sure. And I can make the lights also only backlight. So this is a little bit more artistic vision of an eagle owl. And here's a original species, what we started the feeding there for, goshawk. We call it forest feeder, but it is actually a small field, which is our own land. Nowadays, we bought it, and it's a forest edge is quite distant, and we want to be again eye level with the birds. So it's a wonderful place to photograph the goshawks too. This is from last spring. Oops. I think there was a sound at some point. No, no sound, but that's okay. But there was another goshawk. Just went back to the forest. So there are often towards the spring, there are more and more goshawks. This is a picture taken from the height of this action. You know, they are having little arguments there. And it's a good place for Eurasian chase. Again, pro capture picture. Nutcrackers are coming there too. And of course, in the spring, there are lots of little passerines, migrant passerines coming to the bird feeders, especially when there's a new snow is coming. We have lots of bramblings, chaffinches coming to the bird feeders. And I really love the snow. Here's a yellowhammer and a brambling on the background. Pro capture picture again. You know, it's really difficult to get be early enough to catch these actions. Little bit more artistic picture of a yellowhammer. We often change the perches. This is actually, yes, this is taken from our garden, the spruce branch, and I set up it at the feeder, and it's wonderful, peaceful picture. It has been used in a calendar. So I do sell pictures too. I have made about 15 books myself, photography books. And here's a yellowhammers in the forest feeder, pro capture. Picture also, lovely backlight. I love backlit images myself. It's lovely. And here's waxwings are coming sometimes in our gardens, our bird feeders. This is taken in our garden, actually, with the pro capture. And it takes off the waxwing. Then you can take one of the pictures. The pro capture SH2, the autofocus is actually following the bird. And then you can take one of the pictures and crop it, and they are raw files. It's a bit dark picture of a pine grosbeak. This is common in the feeders in Lapland, where we go often in the springtime. And oh yeah, now we are in, we often go, I went first time to Varanger, northern Norway, already 1983, I think it was. And somehow we don't have a sound here, but that's okay. I can beat the sound. These are the harbors of the northern Norway, Varanger. In early spring, in March, it's full of Arctic eiders. Here, king eiders, long-tailed ducks. And king eider is a beautiful, beautiful bird. There are floating heights where you can get very, very close to the king eiders. They are migrating there from partly from Siberia and probably from Svalbard too, where they are breeding. And it's the best place to get very close to the king eiders. It's not Finland, but northern Norway, where we go every March. We have several tours running there, and a beautiful winter light too. It's a really true Arctic duck species, eider species, king eider. Stelles eider is another one. Beautiful. These are coming from Siberia, and it's one of their main wintering area in Europe. Is in Varanger. The number is declining there, so there are not so many like they used to be, but they are still coming. And the conditions can be very, very harsh in northern Norway. In March, here's a Swedish friend with a big wind and lots of snow flying. And these we were photographing together. We were photographing shacks. This is a shack. They arrive very early in March, you know, and to the bird islands of northern Norway. And that's how we started to run photography tours there, and it's a very, very popular place to get the birds in Arctic conditions. One of the main attractions there are the Atlantic puffins on the snow, you know, so it's a very, very good place. Probably only place in the world where you can photograph Atlantic puffins on the snow. They arrive so early there that there is still often a lot of snow on the island. This is from mid-March onwards. Here's a slow shutter speed shot of guillemots. There's also one Brunix guillemot here. This one, you can see the white stripe here. The others are common guillemots. But there are lots of thousands of them flying around the bird islands. It's wonderful place. Purple sandpiper in Arctic conditions. They winter there. You know, even when the days are very short, they are able to winter there. Let's see if we have a sound. We have little sound. It's not very loud. One of my favorite subjects in the springtime from mid-March onwards is to photograph the black grouse. We have a big population of black grouse. They are still doing really well. And we have hides in the lekking arenas, and they do come very, very close. There's one jumping picture of, you can see the vegetation is all frozen. It's a nice frost, cold morning, but the grouse are very, very active. And especially I love the black grouse on the snow. It's very special effect to have a black bird on the complete snow here. And I think he's saying something shortly. You see? Come on, come on, come on. That should be the sound. And this bubbling sound of a black grouse when they are, and they are often fighting a lot, you know. It's good for, you need a fast shutter speed, of course, to stop the movement, but they're often fighting a lot. You can find after the lekking morning, you can find lots of feathers in the snow, and they are really battling a lot, and they are doing this from mid-March until mid-May. So it's quite a long period. Every morning, big fight. They do come to this time of the year too. In September, they come to the lekking arenas, but it's not quite so fierce than in the spring mornings. Backlit it's my favorite light when you're shooting to the light, and you can see when it's a cold morning, you can see the breath of a black grouse. It's wonderful. And here's also backlit. A little bit underexposed image to stop the movement completely. Wonderful birds to photograph. A little bit different composition of lekking black grouse. Now, okay, then we are in the spring. This is already May. We are working with the ruffs. Come on, yeah. Oh, okay. It was a little video. That doesn't matter. But they are wonderful birds to photograph. This is heavily declining species, but they are doing pretty well still in Finland. They're working in the most important wetland of Finland, Liminka Bay, which is south of Oulu. And we have hides for ruffs there. And they are wonderful birds because there are not two males alike. They are all different plumage. They have the ruffs come with the different colors. And they have also very, very interesting behavior. And it's called lekking behavior. And here's a black and white male dancing on the side of very close to our height, low angle, very, very low angle, as you can see the sky on the background. And sometimes they are having really fierce fights, also feathers flying, and sometimes blood coming out from the bird too. So they can be really serious fights what they are having. And in our height also, again, low angle, and in the evening we have a backlight, so you can see the birds lit really nicely from behind. And they do come very, very close. And in mid-May, 20th May, there can be big flocks of ruffs. These are not all breeding in our area, but they are going to Siberia and to Lapland in big numbers. So there can be thousands of them migrating through. Wonderful, one of my favorite bird species. And this is I love the rainy conditions too, because I can be myself. I was actually cleaning the hide of the clients, and luckily I had my camera with me. And then it was a really big rain came. You know, it was really heavy rain, like here yesterday. and there was a curlew came into the pond, and I like the atmosphere of the rain of this picture. And I made it, yes. And backlit, this is a black-tailed cutwit. We have a black-tailed cutwit, which is very rare actually in Finland, but we have a good population of them in this Liminka Bay. And to get this picture, I was manually underexposing 3 stops from the reading. So I forced the camera to underexpose. You know, I didn't try to get the colors of the bird at all, but just the outline, the rim light of the bird. So this is possible to do if you are doing manually exposure. Pied flycatchers, very common nesting bird in our nest boxes. We put up hundreds of nest boxes, not only for owls, but also little birds. This is in a summer cabin. I was having sauna, and I had my camera set on a tripod. And I'm not sure if I had my clothes on while I was taking this picture. Probably not. So that's typical in Finland. Sauna is very typical. And the waders, what you see here in the winter plumage, in Finland they are in the breeding plumage, and they are often perching in the trees. So this is a green shank nesting in the forest. They bring the young ones to the open box, and when they are alarming the young ones, they are also singing from the treetops, or they are sitting often in the trees, and this is a green shank alarming the young ones in the box. It's strange to see. And again, back to the great grey owls in summer. Well, I'm lucky enough to live in a good area for great grey owls. We often have many pairs nesting in our area. And this is actually a nesting in one of the nest platforms, artificial nest, what we have built. We make these big stick nests sometimes. We put up nest boxes, but this is more natural looking. The natural nest site for great grey owl would be an old goshawk nest. So but this is taken quite far from with the 1000 mil. So I was not disturbing. Obviously, they were aware that I'm there, but they are quite nice birds to work with. They are not too shy. There should be a little video. I'm 5 meter high in a tree in a 1 by 1 meter platform, photographing this beautiful tree stump nest of great grey owls. This is in my home area also. Male brought in the bowl, and the female came to check what did you bring here. And I was shooting with the 3 cameras at the same time. So, but this is a still picture from the same situation. There was a beautiful backlit in the evening light. Was lovely. Great grey owl male bringing the bowl to the female. Look how long legs they have. Incredibly long legs. They can actually, in winter, they can hit through the 1/2 meter snow. They can hit with their long legs. They can hear the bowl, and they can hit with those long legs through the 1/2 meter snow. It's incredible. Really, really long legs. And here's a male brought in the bowl to the chick here. And if you look at the owl chicks, you can easily imagine where the stories of the trolls, stories of trolls in the forest, little men walking in the forest. I mean, owl chicks, they look like little trolls. They are really, really funny looking creatures. And the great grey owl and eagle owl chicks, especially with the big bill, and they don't look like birds at all. And they are walking in the forest because they can't fly yet. It's very typical behavior. So I'm convinced that some of the stories of the trolls come from the trolls of Scandinavia, comes from the owl chicks walking in the forest. So don't go into that forest. There are trolls in that forest because an owl has been nesting there. This is a beautiful, beautiful nest site of a hawk owl, northern hawk owl. And Tengmalm's owl, who we work a lot. We put up a lot of nest boxes. And it's really curious. They look really surprised always when you go to check the nest box. What we do, we try to pretend to be like a pine martin. We go very silent to the tree and scratch the tree. We try to sound like a pine martin would come. And they will come and look the owls. Ooh, is it the pine martin? Oh, no, it's you. It's all right. But they look surprised to me always. Who is there? Funny little birds. And this is not so funny bird. This is a Ural owl. They are fierce defenders of their young ones. So you have to be, I used to ring these, and you had to wear leather jacket and a helmet, helmet with some soft material so the owl don't hurt himself when he's hitting you, because they will hit you. So this is in a ringing situation. My friend was ringing the chicks, and I was protecting him with my camera. I took the picture. I had to dive down, just 2 seconds after I took this picture, because otherwise the owl would have come straight at me. So Ural owls can be very, very, very dangerous. And here is a little bit of our, we keep a little break in the middle of the summer in this eagle owl feeding station, but we start normally in mid-August onwards again to feed them. And they are very, very lovely. And then you can often get them also in the daylight, not only in when it's dark. So they do come quite regularly there. And 2 years ago, they brought their young ones there too. So here's a female. This is not at the nest photograph, but it's from our hide. And the chicks came there, and they could fly already. And here the female is feeding the young one in front of our hide in our feeding station. And here was a very fast situation. This is a young eagle owl here on the bottom, and I saw something mopping it. It was one time. What was that? I didn't see what was that, who was mopping it, and I set up my camera for the pro capture again. Then it came second time, and I got the whole situation, this past situation, and it was a hobby who was mopping the young eagle owl. But I think without the pro capture, I wouldn't have got this picture at all. And this is a double exposure taken from our hide in same evening. First I photographed the moon, and then I waited. I had the moon picture in my camera, and when the eagle owl came there, I had the moon there, and I could take the eagle owl on top of that moon picture. So it's possible to do double exposures in the camera. So this is not the Photoshop, but this is made with the camera. And this is they are wonderful birds, and it's not a very common bird in Finland, and there are not many places in the world. Finland is actually a very, very good place for brown bears. There are many hides along the Russian border where there are brown bears coming. One place especially is very good for the brown bears with the young ones. And it looks like this late June, early July, with a lot of cotton grass in the box. They are wonderful, wonderful creatures. And there's a little video of little brown bear cubs. These are born early in the spring in their den, and they bring in this place. They bring the young ones to the feeding place quite early, and they are so wonderful things to watch. And sometimes they do come a little bit too close for a comfort. So this is they are big animals. I mean, they are huge, and this is maybe 1 meter away from me. I'm inside the hide. Then handholding my camera. You can maybe see my hands shaking a little bit because it came really a little bit too close to be comfortable. And this is a beautiful summer rain. Again, backlit, brown bear walking in the summer rain. It's lovely place to photograph brown bears. Wolves, we have about 300 wolves. And it's a wonderful to photograph the wild wolves also in the forest. This is in the open bog. Beautiful autumn wolf. This is a good time of the year, very good time of the year to photograph. September is a lovely time to photograph wolves. And I like these kind of little bit more artistic shots. I've been moving my camera. In September, there are beautiful, beautiful autumn colors. And I'm panning with the brown bear, and I try to get some autumn colors in the background too. There's a very big male. In the autumn, they're hibernating in the winter, so this time of the year they are collecting lots of fat like I'm doing for the winter. I try to be fat because the winter is very long. Don't you think, Mark? I'm doing well. Yes. Yeah, otherwise I'm like a bear, yes, but less hair. In the forest, it's wonderful. The forest is the real habitat for brown bears. They should be inside the forest. And you can see the breath of the bear here, and a little bit autumn colors in the forest too. And in the mornings, there are often a little bit frost on the vegetation, and they're usually more active in the evening, but occasionally you get them back in the morning. This is another creature of a forest in Finland. It's a wolverine. We have maybe 300-400 wolverines in Finland. They are not very big animals, but they are like hyenas of the north. So they're actually following the wolf packs. Wolves are killing the prey, and wolverines are coming afterwards. Once I saw how the young wolves, they actually chased the wolverine to climb in the tree. And the wolverine, it was not a very, very thick tree, it was a small tree. So the poor wolverine had to stay in that tree for half an hour before the wolves left it, and then it could run away. But they are wonderful creatures to photograph. And something cute, quite big claws. They are not very good hunters, actually. They are hyenas, more like a hyenas, really scavengers. So they are not very great hunters. And briefly back to our golden eagle place. It's this time of the year when we have beautiful autumn colors there. And here's a roadkill, the roe deer as a bait or food for the eagle. So it's like a quite natural natural prey. And pretty good autumn colors here too. Male golden eagle landing in front of our eagle heights. And this is 2 years ago. There was they had a this year they didn't last year and this year they didn't have a young one actually. This is our local pair. But 2 years ago the female the female was feeding the young one in front of the height there. This is taken with the 1000 mil lens, which is here the white lens. You can get it up to 1000. And this is taken with the 2000 mil. So you can get with the long lens, you can get some really interesting details of these birds. So I put the 2 times converter on that lens, and I got like a lens equivalent to 2000 mil. But golden eagle, and young golden eagle is a beautiful bird. It's really a golden color, the crown, and a big white, black and white tail, big white patches on the wings. Beautiful, beautiful birds. This time of the year we have many sparrowhawks coming also at our eagle eye with autumn colors. It's lovely species. Normally quite difficult to photograph sitting or even flying sparrowhawks, but at this time of the year there are very, very good chance. They are chasing the jays there. It's quite a good activity there. They are not catching them, but I think they are like practicing the hunting. This is an adult male sparrowhawk chasing jay. But often there are some young. Here's a young one coming after the jay. It's good for really fast action. You need a fast shutter speed to get to freeze this kind of action. And now sometimes, well, if you're lucky, you get the nice autumn colors on the background. So yeah, very, very good time in the autumn. And this is a challenge. I think even for Canon autofocus would struggle here. I'm not sure, but no problem with OM system. It was flying straight to my camera, and it was nailing nearly all the shots. And adult sparrowhawk quickly turning, showing they are pretty fast, so you have to be quite alert. So no sleeping in the height. And of course, red squirrels, wonderful creatures. It's very common in Finland. And they do come to the bird feeders. We have them in our garden, and in most of the heights, we get the red squirrels coming, and nice autumn colors too, this time of the year. And reindeer, these are actually semi-domestic reindeer. Half of Finland is reindeer husbandry area. And you can see that these are semi-domestic because they have, their ears are split. So reindeer herders, they have ear marks on the reindeer. So, but they are roaming out in the wild. So they are like wild animals. Anyway, and this time of the year, very, very good chance for northern lights, aurora borealis. This is a time lapse. I have left my camera outside for the night. I was sleeping in a cozy cabin myself, and my camera was outside, and it was taking the auroras. This is a star trail picture. Again, I was sleeping. My camera was outside, So, and and there was even an aeroplane. You can see aeroplane flying almost from the center. I'm pointing the camera to the North Star to get the circles around the North Star. And here are both. Here are a little bit auroras and a little bit star trails too. This is in our summer cabin. And only a few more pictures. Maybe you have seen this picture sometimes. This is the picture which started the big photography tourism in Lake Kerkini. This was awarded, wait a minute, well, some time ago in a Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition. And everybody went, Pensen Mate went afterwards, and he took much better pictures. But hundreds of photographers went because of this picture, inspired them to go to the Lake Kerkini to photograph Dalmatian pelicans. And even BirdLife Greece is admitting it was after Jari Peltomäki's visit here, lots of photographers started to come. And there's one fisherman Tom, because I used Fisherman Tom. Everybody wanted to use Fisherman Tom, and he got very wealthy because every photographer, he's driving very good car. While I visited, he didn't have a car at all. But you see that the photography tourism can have a positive impact to the local economy. Definitely. And it's rare to have, thank you for your laugh. It's always nice to get feedback. There's no message here, no message whatsoever. Although I did send this picture I posted this picture to Instagram, and I said, F-U-C-K, Putin. So it was, but I'm waiting for KGB to come to my door one day. Hopefully not. But it's rare to have humor in wildlife picture. It's rare, but when you get that humor, sometimes it doesn't happen very often. Maybe once in 10 years. This is an old picture of brown bear climbing. It was awarded in Wildlife Photographer of the Year competition, and it has been widely spread, widely sold in many places. And this has been viral. This middle finger monkey photographed in Japan, where we do all the time photography trips. Here's a little bit older picture now from my new wife, Kaisa, and myself in Shetland. We are both proud OM System ambassadors. And here are our contact details if you are interested in our tours or hides, finnature.com. We are pretty active in Facebook and Instagram too. So please follow us. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.